Hello, here we are to look on to the Kyoto Protocol, tradable pollution permits and carbon taxes. This is a part 1 of the discussion related to Kyoto Protocol, tradable pollution permits and carbon taxes. Let's have a look on to the same. So, in the very onset itself, we could find that as far as India and the world economies are concerned, these economies would be facing a lot of problems. And why these problems are happening? These problems are happening as a result of human activities. So the activities of human in the environment will be creating a lot of issues. One such issue here is global warming. And what is global warming? So the Earth atmosphere would be warming up. This is mainly due to something called greenhouse gases. So these greenhouse gases are generated in the atmosphere as a result of human activities, and for the same reason the Earth atmosphere is getting warmed up. Heat would be getting trapped in the Earth atmosphere, and this will be leading to instances of humidity, drought and severe shortage of water, leading to scarcity of water. So it is in this context that we began to talk about setting some targets for global warming level, setting some targets for the emission of greenhouse gases. So when you talk about greenhouse gases, it will be including methane, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, chlorofluorocarbons, etc. So this occurs as a result of human activities, and we wanted to reduce this targets. We need to ensure that we are going for less production of the chlorofluorocarbons, methane, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide and other greenhouse gases, so that global warming level would be coming down in the economy. So for the same, we were going for several tools and mechanisms, we were going for several tools or methods to understand and arrive at the solution to reduce something called the greenhouse gases. So there occurred a lot of market price mechanisms. So what happens is that we were going for something called pricing. So some element of quantitative aspect is being introduced here to price certain tools or instruments that we can have. So we will be discussing these things in detail when it comes to the detailed explanation and description of something called some instruments or tool to deal with the problems that we have created in the environment. Now, so if you look at the environment, there have been several polluters. So what does it mean by polluters? The entities who pollute. So there could be sometimes factories which will be leading to air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, noise pollution and so on. Sometimes households would be engaging in the same. They might also generate different types of waste, sometimes solid waste, sometimes liquid waste, sometimes gaseous waste, sometimes a mixed kind of waste. And what will happen if these things are happening? Sorry. So if these things are happening, it will be causing some cost on the environment. For example, just talk about something called deforestation. This is a human activity, right? Deforestation means cutting down of trees in the forest. So when you cut down the trees in the forest, it will be affecting the natural habitat of different species. It will be including plants, animals, trees and microorganisms, isn't it? So here comes the requirement to ensure that we are going for not deforestation but for afforestation. We need to plant more and more trees to ensure that the excess carbon in the atmosphere is getting trapped, it is getting taken up by trees, so that we will be getting ample oxygen. Now what we can do is that we can go for some clean technology. So this can be possible when you go for reduce, recycle, reuse, rethink kind of things. So that clean methodology can be applied to have something called a clean atmosphere, clean environment, and eco-friendly practices would be leading to some proper growth with proper development with proper environmental conservation and preservation. So when it comes to Kyoto Protocol, we could find that this is an international agreement. Okay, so this is an international agreement. And why this agreement was signed? This agreement was signed by various nations across the world, and it was signed in 1997. It was signed in 1997, but unfortunately it was not ratified in 1997. It was ratified only in 2005. So that means there existed a kind of delay, and this delay occurred due to various reasons. And we could find that whenever we come to the application part of Kyoto Protocol, two different periods needs to be considered. And these two different periods will take period from 1997 to 2020. This is what we divide into two different periods. So whenever Kyoto Protocol is taken into consideration, we need to understand that the member countries, that means all those countries which signed and ratified this protocol, they need to accept certain protocols, they need to accept certain guidelines, they need to behave in a way that will be following certain new modifications as a part of this Kyoto Protocol. So for the same reason, we could find that this protocol is legally binding. It will be legally binding the member nations. Okay. Here also we have to discuss a lot regarding the greenhouse gases, which would be leading to something called global warming, which is warming above Earth atmosphere, and this would be created by something called CFCs, that is chlorofluorocarbons, something like carbon